This is OC. I'm here to help you guys out with your summer assignment for AP Computer Science. It's a little bit of a daunting task if you've never actually done installing software before, but it's actually quite simple, so let me walk you through it and we'll see what we can do to help you out. So I've already brought myself up to our Haiku page and to the front page that has our summer assignment and our introduction on it. So what I want to go ahead and do is I'm going to do this one both on Windows and Mac. So I'm going to show both setups. If you're going to do Mac, you just will want to fast forward a little bit to later on in the video, and I'll do the Mac install later. So we're Windows users right now, so we want to download both the first and second link and install. So we're going to download the Java 7 JDK, and if it asks you to save, you want to hit save. It may take a little bit to download. This is 130 megabytes, so depending on your connection, this could take a little bit. So you could do that. You can also download Jcreator as that's going as well. Again, if you have a slow connection, you may not want to do both at the same time. It doesn't per se matter. But Jcreator should download very quickly. It's a very small install, whereas Jdk is our bigger install. What the Jdk is, in case your parents ask, it's the kit that allows us to actually program in Java. What you download normally is called a JRE, a Java Runtime Environment, and it just lets you run Java files. The Jdk actually lets us build Java programming files and actually execute things with them. And that's how we're going to solve our problems, because remember, computer science is a lot about solving problems. So this is our tool to do that problem solving with. So we're going to use Java to be our tool, and so we're going to use that to make our problem solving possible. So mine's downloaded now. It says finished, and I'm just going to go ahead and run it right now. It may come up with a thing saying, are you sure you want to do it? Of course, because we trust Oracle, at least we think we do. It comes up with a 64-bit thing, so you should be running 64-bit Windows probably. If you're not, email me and I'll give you a copy of the 32-bit link. It'll come up here and tell you you do not have 64-bit Windows. It'll tell you right here. So we're going to go and hit next, and we want pretty much everything that's listed here, so there's nothing really to change there. And then it's going to go through the install process. This will take a little bit. It's going to take a little bit on my computer since I'm especially virtualizing this system. It's going to install the development kit first and then the runtime environment. So if you actually didn't have Java on your machine before this, it's actually going to put Java on your machine for you. So it's going to do it all for you. You don't actually have to worry about too much of everything. So it's going to take a run through here. I'm going to go ahead and minimize while that's running. So I just can see this running. It does take a little bit, so we're going to just kind of fast forward through this a little bit as you go through it yourself, okay? At some point it will come up and say, okay, it might ask you for another install. Again, this is for the runtime environment, so to make sure you're running the same versions of both the development kit and the runtime environment. So if it asks you to install that, just hit next and everything should be okay on that. Okay, and so we're now installed and pretty much now have the tools needed to actually code, okay? So technically right now you can code in Java. All you really need is Notepad or some sort of just basic text editor, and that's it, which you probably already have on your machine. But to make things a little easier, we use a development environment, something that just gives us a little ease of access and things like that. And that was the purpose of Jcreator. So it's time to install that so we can make life a little easier on ourselves. I will do a video to show you how to do it on terminal, so if you ever wanted to use the terminal process, you can, because people feel like, actually hacker cool and stuff like that. And I'm not going to lie, it does feel pretty cool to do it. So this one says it's from an unknown publisher, but I promise you it's okay, so we're going to hit yes. Jcreator LE setup. We, of course, agree. We're going to read all that, right? Make sure you read all that. Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Dutch law. That's good. Okay. Probably, unless you care, don't change where it's installing to. If it asks you to create the folder, hit yes. What folder do you want to have it in your start menu? Most people don't care. If you want to have it create a desktop icon, go for it. I'm not a fan of desktop icons, so I stay away from it. Summary and then install. And this should go rather quickly, seeing as Jcreator is a much smaller piece of software. See, finished. And it can launch right away. So if you want to launch, now that we have JDK installed, we'll go ahead and launch it. And I'll show you the final things you might need to do here. Okay. So the first time Jcreator is going to set up, it's going to ask you for some settings. It doesn't matter if you save it per user or all users. It doesn't really matter so much. So you hit next. It's just going to ask you what you want to associate with. There's nothing you want to change there. Hit next. JDK home directory. Okay. Sometimes this is already filled out for you. Sometimes it's not. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. If this is filled in already, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and hit next and then finish and you're good. In case it doesn't show that for you, I'm going to show you exactly how to handle that. So you want to hit Browse. Okay, you're going to find it underneath Computer, your C drive, so your local disk. You might have named it, and then under Program Files x86. I could be wrong on that one. I installed the 64-bit version. It's under Program Files. Sorry. It's just actually under Program Files, not Program Files x86. You click on Java. Then there's going to be an option for JDK 1.760. Don't worry about this 5.1. That's an old one for me. Click on that, and that's all you need to click on. It's just asking you where to find that directory. So you just click on that and say, right there it is. Hit OK, and then it should populate this with where you just found it. Okay. So now once you have that, you hit Next. We don't care about a Java Docs directory, so we'll just hit Finish right now. Okay. And so now everything should actually work just fine for programming purposes. So what we'll do is we'll let you see the next video so you can actually create from that. It's nothing really different than the other ones. We can just go ahead and create things as normal and let that run. Okay. So for Windows users, you guys are finished here. Okay. All right. And pick up on Hello World video and you should be good to go. For Mac users. All right, Mac users. So let's first, we would go to the same web page. So I would pull up Firefox and look at myhakuclass.com. Probably need to. Did I have this already logged in on my Safari browser? Does not look like it. It's just playing Netflix. Okay, so I'm going to log in here, and mine will look a little different at first. In fact, mine I think always looks a little different than yours. So I'm going to go to AP Computer Science. And then we want to download the third and fourth link now. So the third link is the JDK for Mac. And then for Mac, we use a program called Dr. Java. We'll just save it. And that's going to take a minute for us. Yeah, that. So let's just eject that. All right. And Firefox should be soon to be downloaded. We'll speed this up for you. Okay, it's done, so we're going to go ahead and click on it. Okay, again, this one's going to come up with just a Jdk Update Package, so we're just going to double click on it. And we're going to go ahead and hit Continue to say install it. Install for all users, great, continue. It's going to say it takes up so much space. If you're running newer Mac, it's going to actually probably ask you for a password here to make sure you know that you're installing software and that you know you don't get hacked. So, so that's going to write and install. And we can go ahead and, while that's running, get Dr. Java downloaded for us. Save that. That should take no time at all. Okay, my installation was finished for the JDK, so I can close that out and eject the disk image. And then I just need to get Dr. Java installed. So under my downloads, there's drjava.zip. Okay. It's going to bring it up to me. drjava.app. So all you need to do here is drag the .app file that you got over into your applications after my computer has not been slow anymore. Okay. I have a copy of Dr. Java there, so it gives me a warning, but if you don't have Dr. Java, it won't even say anything. Okay? And now you're pretty much ready to go as well. You would now use Dr. Java to do your programming, so Dr. Java is in your applications folder. So if you just run that, it'll bring it up. And there we are. So a lot like Jcreator, it works very similarly. So I'm going to make a new document here. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a name. So I'm going to go ahead and call this hello world.java. So we always end our Java files with .java. And so now I'm going to go ahead and type into it and do some stuff just to show you how it works. Okay, you should probably, if you have not followed the Hello World video, you should probably look at it at some point, because what I'm doing here is very quick, merely to show you the differences. So you might actually want to watch that video and come back to this video at this point, because a lot of what I'm writing probably won't make a lot of sense at the moment. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to actually write a program in it and test it so you know that everything's a-okay. Okay, so that's ready to rock. So in Jcreator files, there's a button that's a down arrow file for compile. We just have compile. It's going to probably say that you need to save it. I usually check that to always save. So it'll tell you it's completed. If there are any errors, it would tell you that here. And then you can run this file, and it runs it for you right there. So it's a lot like Jcreator, just not as, I guess, maybe not as visually appealing, but pretty much the same thing. So. Okay, folks, whether you're using Mac or Windows, you should be good to go now. So take a look at that Hello World video, and you should be good to go. I'll see you guys later. See ya.